I think so. Welcome back to Signals on 91.3. We're talking this morning Adulting 101. It's me. It's me that started it by myself. Well, I have with me, we're discussing Adulting 101, and to part of the program, you can send us a WhatsApp message 0809 234 5913. Signals Marketplace is over, so we'll continue next week Saturday. Thank you. So I have with me a certified child right advocate by UNICEF and the International Association of Therapists. She's also the convener of the Bridge the Gap initiative, a mentorship hub that addresses social and emotional issues encountered by young persons as they transcend into adulthood. So you see, I said adulting one.
Yeah.
Good.
No,
Now, the initiative socializes in poverty-related issues along with other adolescent prevalent challenges such as sexual violence, peer pressure, self-identification, identity crisis, societal intentions, addictions, etc. I have with me Opeyemi Makanjuola.
hello,
Yes, so, and...
our director.
Okay, so I'm coming first. I am coming. Now, over the years, with what I'm reading in your profile, you've reached 48,000 adolescents
Yes.
in schools, tertiary institutions, juvenile homes, orphanages, community gatherings, and faith-based events. Now,
Yes.
tell me about... I also have with me Adedolapo.
Yes.
Good.
Our
So,
director. Please don't skip her.
I wasn't. Just hold on. I'm let me just get it together first. I'm coming.
Yeah.
Now, in 48,000 adolescents.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Okay, so I think it literally started after youth service.
Okay.
And during youth service, I had the opportunity I was working with the Ministry of Women Affairs, and
Okay.
I was seeing like a lot of child abuse cases. And so after youth service, I came back to Lagos and I was like, I'm going to go around schools and just find out what the prevalent issues are in schools. And after doing that, it just circled down to sexual abuse. Like, you go to every secondary school or even primary schools, and after you talk about the prevention of sexual abuse, you see 3-4 children come to you to say, oh, I've been abused before, and things like that. So yeah, the journey has been traumatizing as well. Yeah, like sometimes I see young people who have gone through things, and I'm just like, how on earth are you still surviving? And then they go back home. Parents are not talking about sex-related issues.
Okay.
Parents are not talking about abuse. They don't even notice that something has happened to that child. So yeah, 48,000 kids is a lot of stories, and yeah, we'll keep going around.
So Dolapo,
Yes.
you are here. Tell me about the 48,000 that you have met.
We've met a few.
Okay.
I mean, like Ope said, we have children that have dealt with a whole lot, and parents that kind of hide.
Yeah.
We have the silence culture
Yeah.
in
Okay.
these parts of the world. So you have children that are really scarred, that maybe might have just needed a bit of therapy, but and we also see suicide rates as well
Yeah.
going up. And that is mainly because maybe children might have been abused when they were really young. Talk about it, and their parents are like, "Oh, you can't hate anybody."
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay then. Back to which you've already said silence culture. What do you think causes that silent culture?
I think there's a stigma. Number one, sex is like a taboo kind of conversation. And number two, in Nigeria, we come from a very strong cultural perspective, where there's just so much emphasis on having a good name, and which is a good thing actually.
No, a good name is
No,
better
it's
than-
a good thing. No, I'm all for a good name. And so when something like abuse occurs to your child, you're more concerned about your good name than to tackle what just happened to your child. So it's a hush hush thing where you say, hey, he has abused you, but forgive. Don't worry, don't let anybody hear. It's true. Like, in fact, there was a case I handled that this girl was being abused by her sister's husband. Her sister's husband was definitely funding her school fees and sending money to her parents. And when when the father heard of it, we were just like, this man will be so angry, he will scatter everywhere. He just told her that
They did not like to carry police.
he told his daughter that you are very ungrateful. So if this is the price you have to pay after everything this man has done for our family, so you can imagine something like this. And even for same parents, they're just like, the stigma, how people look at my child. When my child grows up getting married, they'll say, oh, this is a girl that has been raped and things like that. So there's a lot of silence regarding it. Yeah.
So let's breathe first. Good. And let's really look at why do we all think, and I think it affects everybody, why do we think that our parents are more scared about the funders and the abusers? So what do I mean by funders and abusers? So I'm paying your school fees and I'm also abusing you.
Yeah.
Why do you think our parents care about it?
It's that economic issue now.
So financial abuse.
Definitely, because you would say, oh, if we report this guy, income is not coming again to the family, and so it blocks that. So yeah, I feel like finance has a lot to do with it. Also, parents are not raising boy child or male children.
And wait first. Let's
we'll get there. Okay. Let me take a chill pill because I've been wanting to talk about it.
Wait. Because, we always say that, and I'm not standing on any protocol.
Oh, yeah.
Right now.
Oh, yeah.
We always say that we want to raise the boy child and the girl has been raised like with one side eye like this. You already know what to do. Now, why do we all think that wait, I'm coming. I'm just watch me.
I'm ready.
They don't raise the boy child because for some reason I'm grateful that all of us are women in this house, in this studio, right? And we have mothers who say leave him alone, he's the head of the house and all of that. So it's still women because we want to say,
no, I'm going to agree with you.
We want to say that it's the
mothers. No. Yeah, it's the mothers that are doing that.
Because it's the mothers that are raising the fathers. And then tomorrow is Father's Day, by the way.
Yeah.
So that by the time we want to shatter some tables, we know that. Now, how then are we able to look at, because there are a lot of women groups. There's numerous women groups, women everything. There's always one woman or the other telling the women what to do. And then who is looking at the boy?
Yeah.
Now, what conversations should we begin to have, even in those women's circles? Because there are plenty.
Yeah.
That how then do they begin to look at their boy child?
Yeah, and I will start by raising your kids equally. How you raise your girl child is how you raise your. I'm a mom of 2 boys. And God help them. God help them. Raising your kids equally. If you're giving your daughter a curfew of 7 o'clock, then you're giving your son that same curfew. If you are telling your daughter no sex till marriage, you should be telling your son having the same conversations like that. Okay. If you're also teaching your daughter domestic work like cooking, sweeping, cleaning the house, those things are life skills. It's not gendered focused. It's true. They are life skills. So you must be willing to do the same thing. And I tell mothers that a lot of times we put so much energy in raising the perfect wife. To who? Right? And we see a lot of men.
The emotionally unavailable man.
Yes.
And to lazy. No, I thank God I married somebody that they raised it well. And just seeing the reflection of my husband, I'm just like, no, the way my mother-in-law raised this guy, I will channel that energy to these boys.
Did you ever ask your mother-in-law why she raised a great guy for you? Did you ever really? Because you need to go back.
I need to go back. Mother-in-law, as you hear me, because you made my life easy.
Now for that's one great news amongst so many awful news.
Yeah.
Right. So for the people who you have impacted with your time, has their growth been like?
Yeah, the truth is, a lot of times, so for example, I was talking about sex education, and a lot of parents will say, I didn't even see the need to have this type of conversations. Like girls start menstruation, they don't hear any conversations about period until it happens. And even for...
Or they tell you they want to kill chicken for you.
Or kill chicken, and you don't put them through. So I'm just like, can we be intentional about raising children? Can we? I know we're all busy, but can we be intentional about? No, it's true. Can we be intentional about raising children and raising them equally, raising them with intent? And I've seen that for a lot of parents, they didn't see the effects of that, the absence of those type of trainings. For them, it's like, oh, I want to provide so school fees, there's food on the table. They feel like those are the basic requirements, and as long as they have that, that's enough. And I'm telling you that this generation now, the Gen Z as the one after the Z is
then Alpha A.
It might be no Alpha. These guys coming are the baggage that is coming with this century in ahead of us. It's a lot, and as a parent, it's not enough to be financially present. You have to get involved. Like, look at this our parents didn't have social media, so I mean, look at what we're going through now. Look at the shift. Even children outside the country, a lot of us are jackmine, and then our kids are going into environments where they don't even know their gender identities. They're confused and things like that. So if as a parent, your child cannot come to you to ask questions and say, mommy, I saw this thing today, guide me. Or mommy, because I remember,
wait.
I
know. I know. Wait. Oh, that's the one they call song. No. No, so what I'm saying is, and I want us to take it gradually.
Yeah.
Right? You pointed out that children should be able to come to their parents.
Yeah.
You and I know that in our own set, they did not born our
and that's what we're trying to change. Yeah.
Now, what do you think? Because, see, what you and I would tell, what you, Adedolapo, and Opeyemi will tell your parents, right? The gravity is different. What these present children are coming to tell you, even you, yourself, and yourself.
I've seen it now. Sometimes I'll take a chill pill first.
And then, do you think that parents have that capacity to handle information that they don't even have answers to?
Okay, so it's a good thing that I created an online course on sex education for parents, teaching parents in age categories how to go about these conversations, because I feel like if parents are not informed, so, and like you said, there are different platforms, there are different learning platforms to help build that capacity around raising kids, and I feel like they have it. So for example, my parents took their time with me, and I remember when I started having crushes on guys, I could go to my parents. In fact, I could go to
get inside.
No, I could go to my
parents. Get inside.
No, it's true. I could go to my parents to say, oh, I have these feelings. What do I do? Or boys like me. How do? Even my dad like jumped in and was like, yeah, like you're a fine girl. These things will happen. And I feel like just having my parents' voice in my head. And at that time, they would say, oh, okay, keep yourself till marriage, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't difficult to do because I had people I could talk to. They were not lying to me that if a guy touches the hem of your garment, you will get pregnant. It's true. They told me the truth. So it made it like whenever I had like, okay, if I had a crush on somebody, I could go home and talk about it. They could use side eye to look at the guy and say, okay. Is it this one you want to follow? Better fall back. And just those kind of, relationship. There was discipline. Because I know a lot of times when we talk about, parents, your children should have access to you. It doesn't excuse lack of discipline. I was disciplined early life. And I knew that from teenage years, my parents now felt like, okay, they had done the discipline work early life. So by midlife, I was already formed in a sense. Jigget. So it was easy for them to relate from that perspective.
Now, what are your thoughts? And I take that to Adedolapo. What are your thoughts on parents that are not liberal? We don't have most Nigerian parents are not liberal. Opeyemi had liberal parents, so yeah. Right?
They were Christian and they were strict, but yeah.
Just
let's
leave
say
them like
semi-liberal.
For parents, what your parents like?
I grew up in a very liberal home,
so
and my parents were never
Nigerian parents that are not liberal.
It's funny because my parents. I and my siblings would always say this, that how we turned out the way we turned out, I don't know. My parents literally left us to, there was discipline, but the discipline, you can't discipline a child when a child is 10. You start from when that child is
Yes,
4,
months
like
old,
3,
actually.
4, yeah.
Because when you tell a 6-month-old don't do that, they actually know what they're
Yeah.
doing.
Yes, they do.
But when you wait, right, and when there's discipline, Africans forget that there's a difference between discipline and violence, right?
Corporal punishment.
So corporal punishment. So you have to create a safe space. A lot of Nigerian families parents don't have a safe space. Their children cannot easily come to them, like Okwe has said.
Yeah.
So for you to create
And they don't know, Nigerian parents don't know how to keep secrets.
they don't. And so if your child tells you something and you gather with your sisters and you're like,
Going to say why?
see,
But to be fair on them, I mean, they were raised that way. You know, that's why sometimes, a lot of times, I empathize with. A lot of times we talk about our Nigerian parents. You cannot give what you don't have.
Exactly.
And the way they were raised, and unfortunately for the parents of our generation and below, their parents, they didn't witness social media. They didn't even witness media like that. No. Those days, a whole street will have one TV, and everybody will gather around that compound.
I like that. Yeah, a whole street, if you're coming late at night, there is one auntie.
Yes, waiting.
Auntie that. Oh, girl.
Hello, man, basket is short.
I mean, it takes a community to raise a child.
And you know, these days, information is so fast. Children, all they need to do is tap. Like, I have so many teenagers struggling with pornography. Why? COVID happened and all the children had to get gadgets, right? And so after you do your educational work, they get curious and they just type something, and you know, Google is not even your friend sometimes. Things that they didn't even plan to see. Our parents did not deal with that.
No,
you had cyber cafe. Do you want to watch porn in cyber cafe?
With people,
everybody, there's queue at your back, so they're waiting for your 1 hour to go. But look at now. It's true now. Our generation, all you need is a tap of a button, and you have everything.
even your child has your password.
Yes.
I think it got so bad. I know this family where the nanny was using the children's tablet, and the nanny was watching porn on the children's tablet, and so the children were just like, you know, sometimes your history has a way of reflecting.
Parents, clear your history.
Parents, in fact, I even don't recommend tabs and devices. Like, give them for the thing you want them to use it for, and collect your thing back and collect it. There should be submission times, because a lot of times you say, oh, we want to trust the children. They don't have that capability now. Like, their minds are growing, their emotional setup is still in the formative stage. So you cannot say, I'm entrusted. No, it's unfair of that child. You're expecting responsibilities that they are not ripe for. So give them timelines. Oh, take this tab, I'm collecting it. Do you understand? And check the history. I mean, it's your tab, it's your device. The child is under 18. Check the history, because these nannies, imagine this child was exposed to porn, and that it became an addiction. It was a struggle.
How old is the child?
We're talking 12-year-olds here. In fact, the younger one is 9. The younger one is 9. The other one is 12. And imagine, so the parents will say they've done everything right. They raised their child right.
But you know, parents have a way of being saintly. But very saint parents, we've done everything.
A lot of people don't take accountability, parents in particular.
Yeah, but in this particular scenario, it's difficult to point fingers at the parents.
Yeah, but then the issue is really like creating a safe environment, right? Means that you're vetting the people that you're bringing into your home.
Adelapo, you know my own story with Nani. What I've gone through this week.
Tell us.
I mean, I don't want to be emotional on the camera or on the microphone.
No.
A lot of times you put in so much to just get the right people, but you're not a mind reader. You can only do your best. So sometimes I try to empathize with parents, because I mean, it's a Glasgow's world now. Look at fuel price. So you need a side hustle. It's true. We're talking adulthood 101. You need a side hustle.
More than one.
I feel my phone tag with 27,000. I had to beg the friend. It's okay. Stop, because he was still billing. I said, okay. So imagine you have those responsibilities. Of course, school fees. Proprietors will say, us two are buying fuel expensive. Let's up the school fees, and the demands financially is putting people on the road. So
should we ask a question? And I'm going to ask everybody. We're talking adulting 101, and it's easy. I should not say the other side. Okay? Yes. So what would you rather prefer? No kids and enjoy your adulthood, or have kids and have time for them?
Have kids when you have energy to
when you're
do the
ready.
running around.
Okay.
Yeah, although that also is difficult because you can't control that situation. So whichever one God gives you, ask for grace. Shalom. Ask for grace, because even I had told my husband last week, I'm not doing again. The second child is the end. I'm not. Oh gosh.
No, but here's the thing. So that leads us back to our parents who really they tried.
10 children.
They did.
7, 6,
7, 6,
5.
10, 11.
Which they tried. They should be flogged. What?
Because then in 11, how did they really take care of all 11?
And that's why
And some of these kids, most of the people that our parents raised also turned out
they
well.
turned
Yes,
out.
they
in
well.
their
did.
own little
Yes,
ways.
But they
Yeah,
had
they-
communities. We don't have that
No,
now.
we have all of us are
They
raising
had communities.
iPhones.
Literally, iFriends.
iPhones.
You know, we were raised.
iFriends.
We are raised online.
There's hyphens, right? And then how then do we? Because see, our parents are going.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going.
Ouch.
Yeah.
See the way
Yeah.
you said going.
No. So when I mean
I
going,
know. I get it.
see,
too.
they no longer what they have is the wisdom of the age. Abi.
Yes.
We have the strength, and we
Yeah.
can't still seem to balance it, right? Because you said something very important. We're raising children, and the generation that is coming. You know, I saw a tweet. I saw a tweet where someone was saying that you need to start looking at investing in hospitals, psychiatric homes.
Yes. Psychiatric homes very important.
Yeah.
Very important.
Yeah.
And because of the rate at which they are, is this smoking shisha? The rate at which I see some videos of boys who are being flogged because they've overdosed on drugs.
Yes. It's
Now.
the opioids.
Now, I think opioids you, I think drugs you,
They flogging
and
you.
flog you.
Flogging.
The problem is, and the question
that
is,
helping?
it's not even the helping. Is the people we're raising, are the generation we're raising, are the young ones we're raising, are the children, even ourselves, are we really raising ourselves right? Because you know, Nigerians will tell you what it be a woman, meaning that they have given birth to you, you have to raise
yourself.
right? And so we are facing challenges that is too much. So we shout mental health when it's not mental
It's not
health,
mental health.
right? So how then do we begin to balance? Because you're saying 14,000. This is 14,000 nations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are you seeing? Tell me what you are seeing.
For me, I feel like culturally or socially, the norm is not the norm.
Okay.
anymore.
Why do you say
And
that?
there's no norm, because the norm in Africa now is almost the Western norm.
Yeah.
It is the
There's
Western norm.
globalization. and
So
stuff
the
in
globalization
Africa.
has completely
Yeah.
kind of affected everything.
Yeah.
We talk about drugs. If you look at statistics, the level of the people that took drugs like 10 years ago has probably quadrupled. And we're talking of children from 14.
Adedolapo,
We're talking
start
drug
from
abuse.
10.
Let me start from 10. I didn't want to take it
Start
that.
from
That's
10.
the
Don't
reality.
let them know what is happening.
Yeah, let's start from 10. Children are overdosing
on their
on
parents'
their
drugs.
parents'
oh.
drugs.
On their parents' drugs. oh.
Right? So we don't have, there's no norm anymore. So as a parent, you're going to raise your child, as people, as individuals, you're going to raise your children, or I don't know, your family, whatever, as you know, as your knowledge, you know that these things are not right. You're not raising them as what is going on outside, because what is outside now is not a norm anymore.
Yeah.
We're broken off from any social norm
Yeah.
right now, even in the world, particularly in Nigeria.
Even moral standards.
Has shifted completely. So that's what I'm saying. There's no norms
Ridiculously.
anymore,
Okay. So how then do we? If you say there is no norm,
in my opinion.
no, it's okay.
Yeah.
So how then do we begin to look at
Change or a way forward.
yes.
Yeah, way forward.
Because if we say there is no norm,
Mhm.
right? How then do we look at somebody and say, okay, you would face life and its challenges, but it really doesn't say that you are off.
Yeah, it doesn't mean
Because-
that you're off the.
Because why would a child start to take drugs? Is it peer pressure from school? Is it addiction? Why would I see me that I didn't even like drugs? Why would I see drugs and think that I need to be high? High on what exactly?
You know, I think the scariest part for me is that the school system, which is unavoidable, is a mixed crowd. So a lot of times, certain parents raise their children perfectly. You do all, not of course not perfect, but you do all the right things. Then a child that is raised by God knows what
You don't want to say junkie,
mixes with your child in school.
But here's the thing. You know, we're very funny in nature where we want our kids to go to the best schools, right?
Yes.
But the best schools
Have all of that.
have the junkies.
Yes.
Have the highest of
All
junkies.
the schools.
All the schools.
Because
do.
when
If you look,
But
if,
the best schools.
so if you
You're
look at the
really- you're
children,
very right.
if you look at the children raised in some government school,
Yeah.
right, and they sort of blend. You look at, okay, my Yoruba is distracting my English.
Allow it flow.
Is some is better than the other. One has the wealth, has the everything,
Yeah.
and the other just has that little 100 naira, that little 1,000 naira to be able to go to
Yeah.
school.
And you know, they
So-
yeah.
Should they now send some the rich kids? Should they now send them back to the trenches so that they can balance, or what? Because it's almost like a mixed bag.
That for me, what you said, it's literally about you as a parent. What are your values?
Who is training the parents?
The parents that have been
Have
trained,
you
for
seen
example, we
our
have been trained, right?
generation?
In our generation,
the
it's what
human beings
it's what
we have.
we pass on to our like. Look, the few of us in our generation that know the things. I mean, you talk about drugs. When we talk about drugs, it's not about the fact that you're going to be high. There's a lot of health challenges that you get. These things are like I like to tell people: you smoke, you take nicotine is addictive, right? You smoke. Do you know the repercussions of smoking?
Your kidney will go.
Your kidney is okay. Your kidney is actually
Your
okay.
lungs.
Your lungs are gone. Without your lungs,
And you'll not be looking for
someone to do.
donate.
Without your
some-
lungs, how do you actually breathe? So you see, the people don't understand. We are in a world where people need to understand that for every action that you take, there is a repercussion. Consequences are always negative. They are not positive,
But,
right?
but
Unfortunately, like if you are
No, not even nice.
if you are smoking or if you are doing drugs, most likely find a lot of people. I mean, you'll be lucky if you overdose on drugs and you don't die. You'll be lucky to find yourself in the hospital. You'll be lucky to find yourself in the rehab. However, some people would never find themselves in the rehab or anything. They would be gone.
and that's why I said intentionality.
Intentionality in parenting.
Because the truth is, if you raise your child to come back to you for anything,
Come home.
mommy,
Yes.
they were smoking something, but everybody looked nice. They felt happy. I invite those conversations. I remember growing up, and my mom always tell me to bring my friends over. I just thought she was nice and wanted to cook jollof
Same.
rice. This woman was doing CIA Detective Pro Max.
Literally.
She was just
trying to
what
vet
she
your
was
friends.
eavesdropping on our conversations. Sometimes you come in, nice juice. Then you add amount. She was trying to know my influence circle, my confidant, and she was trying to know like who are the people that are influencing Okwe. How do I influence those people influencing Okwe? Get to know your children's friends. When you pick your child from school, it's not just to say, "Oh, school fine, okay, enter the car." Oh, 100%. What a fine boy, enter the car. Ask questions. Don't just ask how was school. Be intentional about building those relationships with your child. Let them, at least let every spike. I have a family friend that anything that happens, she will come home and say, Mom, I think I like this boy. Or mommy, my classmates were doing this in school. Just having this girl open up and say these things, her mom will be able to say, no, this one is wrong, this one is right. So just parenting is personal. If we look at the individuals in our generation, sometimes it's scary. We are all on social media. You see human beings on social media, and I'm like, you have children. How do you want to influence your own child to be normal like this?
I also think
It's alright.
it's about, I feel like this thing, like we spoke about discipline and creating a safe space. What I think people have done in our parents' generation is trying to create a safe space, but creating a safe space also with the
Judgment.
use of judgment and
Ken.
the cane. I'm not saying don't discipline your child, but what happens with children is what parents don't understand is so half the time you instill fear into them. Everything. Oh, you did this. Oh yeah, your brother. Where is that cane? Bring the cane. Bring it.
But then you compare your
You
kids.
But then you compare
find
your
out
kids.
what
Comparison
happened.
is like
Yeah.
you're killing that child.
Yeah.
People, that's what parents don't understand. You can't compare. Don't ever say your brother. Why can't you be like your brother? That's my friend's child. What you're doing is children have mental health.
Okay.
They do not. Children have, everybody, as long as you're a human being, you have an emotional side to you.
Yeah, true.
So when you are slandering your child with the oh, I'm encouraging you, you are slandering your child. I used to be one that used to flop in maths a lot. And growing up, I was so grateful. My parents, my father never used anything.
Yeah, don't be stupid.
He'd be like, oh, how did you do? Oh, you could do better. Why didn't you think you could do better? So I didn't understand when my friends said, my father flogged me.
Yeah.
My mom beats me. I never understood that. I was like, why are some people so mean? Like, but I understand, like, you are trying to, in the whole anger of, and this whole thing has to do with financial things as well. I'm paying a lot of money, and you're going to school.
That's the child,
the child cannot be fapping around in school. That's another thing about parents. We're coming to parenting. They're under a lot of pressure, but you never know as well. A lot of people don't take time to know whether their child has any developmental issues.
Or
whether your child is dyslexic. But you have instilled so much fear into that child that the child will never even on social levels, the child cannot come to you and say, oh, mommy, somebody was smoking beside me and my friends offered me.
When your grades are D.
When your grades are, how dare you come and meet me?
You will suffer that social suffer.
Be calm down. It's Signals on 91.3 Lagos Talks. I have with me Opeyemi and Adedolapo from the BDG Bridge the Gap Initiative. If you have questions, our time is almost up, but if you have questions, call us 0809 191 3913 or 0809 WhatsApp 0809 234 5913.
Why are you laughing?
Laughing because, and it just occurred to me while you were all conversing, that if a child wants to be going anyhow, just carry them. And you know, the difference between, we always copy the West, but what we don't look at is they have a strong way of they don't beat their children, but they have a strong way of getting them to shaping. How?
Yeah.
They will carry them to the psychiatric homes. They will carry them to all the places. Let them see, right? So is it something that we can begin to imbibe, where a child is about to go like this? Oh yeah, you want to know where you end up?
Yeah.
Let's go. Yeah. We begin to carry you to all of those places.
Yeah.
What would that do? Is what I don't know. It's either the fear of God will.
I think you said the West, they don't beat. I mean, I lived in the western part of the world for most of my life, and I'd say that they do beat. However, the intention behind it, like Opa said, intentionality. I feel like beating a child.
But policeman will come and carry you because the children.
No. There are ways
that's what I'm
around.
saying. There are ways around it. It's not like you are hitting.
Buy sweet after the beating.
You're not hitting a child. There's a difference between beating and like disciplining a child.
Yeah, okay.
And I think that's the line that has not been the line that
is blurry.
It's always
very
blurry in this part of the world, because when you discipline a child, when you tell a child that this is the reason why I did this. Do you know why I did this?
I'm doing
this. But
this
it's with anger that most parents you see some children beat.
I don't understand. After you have seen traffic, you know, even for me, I have this young daughter of mine that I love her. That's God. See, there was a particular day I had seen Shege, and then I was trying to just bring her in, and then she did not offend me. God who made me, she did not offend me. She's a child. And then I beat her, and my conscience was like, but you know that this guy did not send me message. So I promised myself that day that I would. See, I took pictures of her crying, and it was simple. Like, okay, come now, let me play with you. And she'll say, I'm like, Mono.
I mean, it's hard when you are frustrated.
Social service.
But that's hard when you are frustrated. But that is why I always tell to people. I say to people, you know that there's a way why you can take yourself out of that situation. Headspace.
See, I just looked at her, carried her, promised myself never.
Now you never to do it again.
See, but you know, children can test your patience.
Yes, definitely.
Children
That's why
they are doing.
They do.
They do know.
They do, and that's where it becomes difficult, right?
See, they know what
and
they are
always
doing.
Pressing your button.
No, so she has a very funny attitude.
Yeah.
She has a bad anger. For a child, she has. I'm wondering why you're having bad anger. So that day, Lord,
you should have.
I now put her there. So when she now and she could scream alongside. I said, I carried her, locked her up. She now said, would you cry? I'm not crying. Okay, good. But then you begin to look at them, and it's so fun to watch when I see children that they begin to form their own attitudes. They're watching you.
Yeah.
They're so watching you, but you're like, even you yourself, you have not even got anything right.
And I think you've pointed out the biggest lesson in all of this. all everything we're talking about goes down to modeling.
Yes.
You cannot give what you don't
You
have.
have.
You cannot shout on a child like you are the one that the whole neighborhood know you have side chick, and you are always
And you're always
brawling
shouting
with
it.
alcohol. Then you come and be shouting on somebody and say
It's not
resembling you, brother and sister.
No, but you know, at the end of the day, because again, you guys are doing a lot of work. You are. Because
I like the way you had to hum twice because
if you are giving me 48,000 and we're trying to create safe environment for them, what's the future going to be like? What's the future of this 48,000? Who would mix with every other child?
And you know the interesting thing is I had to stop talking to the 48,000
Because we are
and
affected.
start focusing on their parents, because it's actually it's pointless a lot of times when you do all that. No, I won't
Because
say
they will
it's
go back
pointless.
home.
Yeah, they go home. They go. The cycle continues.
Mhm.
And in fact, Bridge the Gap was on hold for years because I had to re-strategize that. No, because I cannot talk to 48,000 every day.
No.
And I had to start going back to who can reach these parents who can reach the children in a sustainable way, and it's the parents.
Okay, hold on. We have a message. What about situations whereby kids tell their parents their day-to-day activities, and the parents begin to scold them, and this makes the child to start keeping things to him or herself? That's Ross.
Take my course. Take my course or watch my YouTube videos, because I teach. I you know this thing of frustration. Sometimes we parents, number one, parents see their children in them, or see themselves in their children. And when your child says, "Oh, this happened to me," you imagine the worst, because in your generation, if you tried something like that, is rather extreme. But I need parents to, number one, put yourself in their generational box, and number two, do not encourage conversations, and don't now throw them under the bus.
And don't use it against them.
Don't use it against
Exactly,
them.
because a week after you say, why
how
would
you
they
do
rape
you
you?
that.
Why would they rape you? Do you understand? Because
Because you hear people say things like that.
no, the children I work with, they've been scarred
When
in
you were
ways
going
that
out
I
like
feel
that.
like you can't. Sometimes I wonder if it's repairable.
Whether they
It
can
can
actually
be,
repair.
but parents need to, number one, if your child has the balls to come to you for anything that deep, you need to acknowledge and appreciate the fact that
Thank you for
conversation
telling me
even
first.
happened. And when that happens, your point
I need
is
tissue.
solution.
Okay, we have a call. Just hold on. Hello, good
Oh,
morning.
am I crying?
Yes, you are. Hello. Yes, we can. Good morning. Okay, go ahead. Okay.
Yeah. Listen to the
Yeah.
like
Okay. You know what? Please, can you? Hello.
Line is
Please,
not clear.
please kindly call us back. Just quickly call us back. Because children are scared, and they're scared on a daily.
Yeah.
How then? And they'll go and meet other people, and we are not. Recently, we have been shouting. I think women too are shouting. You people that cause trouble, you are now saying we are not rehabilitation centers. Yes, right.
Yes.
Mothers are expecting that one guy or one girl who her head is not right on her shoulder or his shoulder should go and marry somebody. They go and take people from the village.
Yes.
You mess up their lives. You
Yes.
bring them to Lagos,
Yes.
and at the end of the day, they don't even know. They don't know the
Left and right.
no. They are taking the
Yeah,
breeze
the breeze. And I want to
that is blowing them. Right, call us back 0809 191 3913. Thank you to both of you. Sorry, I understand. Don't cry. And 0809 191 3913. I have like 2 to 3 minutes to go. Please call us. Yes. 0151519113, or send us a WhatsApp message quickly to 0809 234 5913. Now, I hope you have continued BDG initiative. It's not
Yeah,
stopping.
no,
wait,
and that's
back.
why I said we had to.
Pause it, Abby. Hello, good morning.
Okay, hello. I just called Joshua. I call you.
Yes.
Why did you call home?
Sorry. The line was. You not hear you.
Okay. I say most times it's like we so much raise emphasis on parents or issue. when we raising emphasis on parents, how about the children themselves? Well, I've witnessed, like some parents, they want to be friendly with their children. They want to play.
Okay.
With them just as the way their parents. But they don't actually, they don't take so much from their parents.
I think I get what he's saying. He's saying parents want to become friends with their children, but children don't want to be straightforward with their own.
We're not telling you to remove discipline, and we're not telling you, because I know that is a new norm now. Parents wanting to be friends.
I want you to be my mother and father. I don't want you to be my friend.
You are still a parent, and in fact, your children might not even like you in the beginning, because I did not like my mommy growing up until maybe. I think university, I started saying, okay, she doesn't hate me. But growing up, she was firm on me, and there was discipline. So we're not telling you, don't please, by all means, don't do good. My parents raised me hard. I'm going to be soft. I'm going to be nice. We're going to be girlies. No, you need to
send us a WhatsApp message. Someone is saying, hello, Signals, great topic. It's pertinent. We speak about the things and be proactive. We're now saying the future is now. But what have we done to preserve the future? Thank you, Shudi. So how do we preserve the future?
Like I said, it goes back to parents. Like the strategy I now use now when I go to schools, because we've started opening school projects, is that I talk to the parents before I talk to the children. Okay. So PTA meetings, if I talk to the parents, talk to the teachers, teach them how to identify, manage. And we're having a police project before the end of the year where we train the police on emotional intelligence. Oh. Yes, thank you very well. Because sometimes these children go through stuff. They go to the police station and police say, look at your skills. We don't have an environment. So you mean you went...
Yes,
do you understand?
See, when you said police, please, police... Let me just see. I'm even having goosebumps first.
Yeah.
When people come to meet you, because here my time is up. Police.
God will help them.
No, it's not even God will help them. They're also parents.
They are parents.
They're also parents. And what if you go and tell a policeman that somebody touched me anyhow, or a boy goes to a police and that girl touched me anyhow? They look at you. You know, be man. You know, be girl. You know, because again, they are parents first before they get into that uniform to do what they need to do. So.
I even have a girl that in the process of them examining her, they were touching her as well.
Some of them
squeezing her ball. Is this the bam bam that you touch?
That's it.
It's okay.
Is this the bam bam you touch? Is this the breast you touch? And they were touching her. So imagine the double trauma she went through. So police, please just know that I'm coming to every family support unit, police center, so that we raise we create a proper ecosystem of support. We're reaching parents, we're reaching teachers, we're reaching police, and we're talking to the children themselves. But there's no point talking to the children and they have nobody to continue, that mentorship and continue that support. So yes, I think maybe I can wrap it up and take my course or watch my YouTube videos, because
please, when you are looking for her, just let me help you.
Because I'm trying to make it as simple as possible.
I'll probably be calming down first. I said calming down like 45 times now. Now, if you go on YouTube, you look for Opeyemi Majekodumi.
Makanjuola. We will find her. Don't worry. Remember, I've already called social services on her in the beginning for what she did to that girl.
Coming for you.
See, very lovely young lady. She tests my patience every day. And till we come your way again next week Saturday, like we always say on Signals, dream again, create opportunities for people. Please come back home. Please, every child, come back home. And if they come back home and you're telling them nonsense, if they go outside, all of us are in trouble. Right? Why am I saying come back home in essence? Is most times when we offend, right, we don't have a home to go back to. And there's it's true that you don't have homes to go back to, but that person that you can trust, that person that you have observed that, what, if I go to this person will answer me, regardless of whether they have frown face or firm face, go and talk to somebody. And if they come to talk to you, please safeguard their trust. It's very, very important. Have a wonderful week and God bless. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you so much for having us.
You pushed me out of my comfort zone. That is not fair.